evening. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso, professional as always, of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Tonight we shall explore the 17th lesson. Welcome to Tantra. One of the teachers of the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche, used to say that Tantra is based on sutra, with which it must never contradict. An easy way to think of Tantra is just sutra plus simile or metaphor. Tonight we will have questions. When those questions occur to you, please type them up in the chat area. Or if you are feeling extraordinarily extroverted, use the link in the description area below and join the Instagram version of this live stream so that you can punch the request button and ask your question face to face in real time. That's only if I notice it out of the corner of my eye. I might not. If that's the case, leave the live chat on Instagram and then re-enter and try again. That's the only way to get my attention. I apologize. It's clunky, but that's how it works. If you find these live streams and podcasts and blogs and class materials numerous and free for the downloading to be of value, then please consider supporting this channel by arranging for a monthly donation through PayPal by using the link in the description area below this video. If you cannot do that at this time, then please do what you can to support the channel, such as clicking subscribe, clicking the bell icon, clicking the thumbs up icon, as well as typing out a comment. All these things really help with the algorithm. Please excuse my allergies. So I'm going to open up tonight's practice text, and you shall see it as merely a Word document. However, when you use the link in the description area below to go to the downloads page, you will notice the documents are PDFs. They've been formatted to be read upon your smartphone in the horizontal position. Now, if you wish to successfully and skillfully deal with a PDF on your smartphone without losing your marbles, then download the free Kindle app. It will allow you to navigate and bookmark with ease. These are lengthy documents, and navigating them without the Kindle app is just mashugana crazy. The recommended reading for this lesson are the 1st through 6th passages of Tantra's Treasure of Raktatare, which of course is available for free download from the downloads page. It sounds frightfully redundant, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of Fifth Element. Make yourselves comfortable in the sleep regulators while we regulate your sleep. Okay, so let's skedaddle off to tonight's lesson. Naropa's first yoga of Tummo. Naropa was a fellow who lived in northeast India more than 1,000 years ago. His teacher was, let's see, what was his teacher's name? Let me go backwards. Milarepa, Morpo, Naropa, Tilopa. That's it. Tilopa was his teacher. And so Naropa gathered the 6 most poignant tantric teachings of the tantric teachers in his region. That was either Naropa or Tilopa who did that. I think it was, I'm not sure. One of the two. The first technique, of Naropa's 6, is Tummo, which we shall play with tonight. Now, do you remember the third, what's it called? The third Alien movie. The one with Sigourney Weaver and her head was shaved. Remember that? What did the warden always say? If you're geeky and you remember, type it out in the chat area. What did the warden always say before he addressed the inmates? Ruma control. There's a lot of malarkey surrounding Tummo. It was not designed to keep us warm in the snow, although some people found that useful for that. It's not supernatural. It's not going to give us miracle powers. It's not going to make us Morgana the Mage or Merlin the Magician. But it is very useful for centering our energies, transforming them from being chaotic to coalesced. It can induce some pleasurable feelings, subtle in nature. It will give us techniques that later on we can apply to the 6th yoga of Naropa, which is Karma Mudra, or Yabyum, or Tantric Sex, or doing the hibbity dibbity. Our goal is not to feel orgasmic bliss. It might happen, it might not happen. That's not the goal. Our goal is to play with these exercises in a way that makes us feel more resourceful, more centered, and prepares us to really get the most out of spontaneous awareness meditation. Well, I'm really getting a bad connection on Instagram. If you're trying to reach me through Instagram, I apologize. Without any further ado, let us turn the page. Of course, I cannot say turn the page without thinking about the song. I forgot who was it. Bob Seger who sang it. Anyway, tonight's Tummo practice has 2 phases: inner heat and central channel. Now, it's despite the ravings of rigid and overbearing fundamentalists, we do not have to visualize our central channel beginning in the region of our lower abdomen, about a thumb's width before our spine, about the width of an arrow or a pencil. We don't have to visualize it ascending up into our skull and arching forward and terminating between our eyebrows. We don't have to do that. We do not have to imagine that this central channel pierces 5 chakras or wheels that are arranged horizontally as opposed to vertically like the Hindu model. These are horizontal and they predate the Hindu model. We do not have to visualize a chakra at our navel or at our heart, our throat, or crown. We don't have to do any of that. All we have to do is silently and mentally recite certain words in harmony with our breathing. And if that is all we do, 5 minutes every morning and 5 minutes every evening, then after 7 consecutive days, you might see a substantial improvement in your peace and resilience and love. But do not take my word for it. Put it to the test. So this practice is known in Sanskrit as Bindu and in Tibetan as Tikle. On the left, if this is your first time ever meditating with me, on the left you'll notice something I like to call contemplative notation. And it's much like musical notation. For the first phrase, it infers that when we notice our bodies breathing in, we're going to silently and mentally recite Gut Ah Flame, which I'll explain in a minute. And when we notice our bodies breathing out, we'll silently and mentally recite Relaxing. So let's think a little bit more deeply about breathing. A tale is told that a North Indian priest called Siddhartha left a life of luxury and debauchery to become a forest monk known as Gautama. That as Gautama, he studied with not one but two prominent meditation teachers of his day. They both taught concentration, and he worked with their systems until his teachers felt that he had mastered their system and was ready to teach. He said that although he was grateful for their support, he didn't feel like he was satisfied with his spiritual development. He wanted more. So he retreated to the forest for an additional 5 years. The majority of that time he spent with 5 other companions, practicing harsh asceticism, almost to the point of death, until he realized, this is as ineffectual at granting lasting peace as all that debauchery in the palace. So he who would eventually be nicknamed the Buddha, or Enlightened One, decided to set out upon the middle path between all extremes. It can be inferred that he also viewed concentration as a form of asceticism. And so he chose to perform the opposite. Where concentration is rigid, mindfulness is flexible. Where concentration is active, mindfulness is passive. Where concentration is controlling, mindfulness is acquiescent. So we do not control our breathing, the rate, or the depth, or the timing. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. Au contraire. What we do instead is simply, as we sit comfortably, head over shoulders, shoulders over tush, feet flat on the floor, assuming you are sitting upon a chair right now, is that when we notice we're breathing in, then we silently and mentally play with these words. And when we notice we're breathing out, then we silently and mentally recite Relaxing. But what do I mean by silently and mentally? I mean, we don't use our vocal cords or our jaw or our lips or our tongue. We use our inner monologue, our inner Rod Serling, and whatever voice you choose, your voice, the voice of Sigourney Weaver, the voice of Lewis Black, or Samuel Jackson, whoever you prefer. I think it would be really funny if your inner monologue was Samuel L. Jackson. Okay, especially in his role as Jules. This brings us to the actual content of the words we're going to be playing with for the next 16 breaths. Gut refers to our abdomen, the region behind our navel, but in front of our spine. Remember, we do not have to visualize it. Simply by silently and mentally reciting the word gut, our mind knows what we're talking about, and our subtle energy will follow the words that our mind recites. Ah is a syllable, no doubt, but in India there were 2 types of mantras. Now, there's no one centralized system in India because India is a vast continent. So you can have the same system with different terms. Having said that, a Maha mantra is a polysyllabic mantra. A Maha meaning great. A Bija or seed mantra is a 1-syllable mantra. Ah, A-H, is a one-syllable mantra. Rather than indulging superstition and trying to figure out what it may or may not invoke or protect us from or bless us with, it's enough to simply silently and mentally play with this twice a day, every day for 7 consecutive days, and notice our results. That's enough. So you don't have to visualize a navel wheel behind your navel the size of a thumbnail. You don't have to visualize a teeny tiny letter A the size of a mustard seed. And you don't have to visualize a little tiny flame, inert but pleasurable, burning at the top of it. You don't have to visualize any of this, because by silently and mentally reciting gut, ah, flame, a subconscious mechanism in your mind will take care of that for you. It's kind of like going to the movie theater. You don't have to write a script, hire actors, direct them, edit them, and develop the film. All you got to do is sit in the chair and watch the movie. So this is similar to that. On the out breath, in addition to silently and mentally reciting relaxing, we are going to physically relax as best we can. What? You mean you can't do it perfectly? I've never heard of such a thing. Of course you can't do it perfectly. None of us can. But the great irony is that we are wired to relax at least somewhat during each exhalation. And so by silently and mentally reciting the word relaxing, as we breathe out, we are aligning our intention with our factory installed wiring. I'm almost done with the preamble, boys and girls. Hang in there. On the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, we see a whole slew of small fonted words. This is tabulatory notation, or in other words, that which helps us keep from losing count. Yes, we could use beads or rosaries or malas, but those things can get lost or stolen or broken, or in the age of fascism, confiscated. I'm very grateful that many years ago an aging Bengali taught me the following system of crease counting that I now share with you. We shall count sets upon our left hand and repetitions or breaths upon our right. Sets and reps might remind us of working out. We shall begin by touching the tip of our left thumb to our left little finger. We shall slide the tip of our thumb down our left little finger until it comes to the left little finger's lower set of creases. For upon the left little finger, in addition to the tip, there is a higher set of creases, a middle set of creases, and a lower set of creases. Congratulations! You found the way to count your first set. Mazel tov. Now, let us place both hands palms up upon the respective thighs. Let us position our hands upon each thigh in a way that gives us the optimum advantage for our posture. The profile of our posture must not look like the letter C, but more like the letter S. We're just about ready to get started. We're going to count 4 sets of 4 for 16. We'll start on our right little finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do likewise on our right ring finger, right middle finger, and right index finger. We shall advance our left thumb during each inhalation. I'll probably be going a little bit faster than you because I'm breathing faster because I'm doing all this talking. Let's begin right now let's count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right little finger. Gut, ah, flame, relaxing. This is sometimes described as Mother Tantra because we are beginning our meditation in our lower abdomen, not too far away from where the uterus lives. Let us continue now counting upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right ring finger. Gut off flame, relaxing. Come, let us count upon our right middle finger. Gut off flame, relaxing. As always, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Type them in the chat area. For our final 4 breaths, or repetitions or rounds of this exercise, let us count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right index finger. Gut off flame, relaxing. When the monk Gompopa, the physician of Lhasa, was trying to impress his would-be teacher Milarepa, he said, "I can sit in meditation for days." To which Milarepa said, "That's nothing compared to an hour meditating upon Tummo." Now that we've rested in our navel wheel for 16 breaths, it's time for 4 rapid fire contemplations. These are going to be, I said 4, but I meant 8, just testing. Let's see, was it really 8? I think it's going to be 7. So these are all, most of these are ascending, except for the first 2. So we're going to begin by advancing our left thumb upon our left little finger up to the middle set of creases. Just like that. Gut flame to left foot. You don't have to visualize it. It's enough to play with the words. And as we're counting on our right little finger, as we advance to our right middle set of creases, gut flame to right foot, relaxing. And who knows, you may even feel subtle sensations. Gut flame to heart, relaxing. Excuse me. Gut flame to left hand, relaxing. Gut flame to right hand. Now we begin counting upon our right ring finger. Gut flame to right hand, relaxing. Not only is this connecting our body parts, but it is a subtle form of body inventory meditation, which is common both to Taoism and to Buddhism. Gut flame to throat, relaxing. The area that kind of knots up before you cry. Gut flame to throat, relaxing. And for the next 2 breaths, gut flame to crown, relaxing. For the next 8 breaths, we're going to hang out and just rest at our crown. We're going to work with a syllable. The syllable is hom, not ham, but hom. And we're going to count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of both our right middle finger and index finger. Grin to crown hom, relaxing. If you feel like your body is less in control of you now, maybe you're less of a horn dog or less of a raging homicidal maniac, you may know why so many fundamentalists have people visualize their teacher or a Buddha above their head, because it gathers their energy there and helps them to let go of some of their baser sensations. Now, our job is not to run away. Now that we've taken a break from our baser sensations, we're going to dive bomb right back into them. Mindfulness ain't a thing. We're now shifting gears from inner heat yoga to central channel yoga, because we're shifting gears from flame to syllables. We've done our first climbing, now it's time for our first sinking. And in a moment that will become self-evident. Again, the rapid fire contemplations. We shall advance the tip of our left thumb up our left little finger up to the first set of creases. Grin to throat om, relaxing, counting upon our right little finger. When I first started studying this, I was shocked to see Om at the throat after so many years of studying Hindu chakras. Grin to heart Tom, relaxing. Usually it's Hung or Hum. However, if one's Yadam or archetypical Buddha that one works with, which we will do tomorrow, we use their syllable at our heart. And so since we work with red Tade, we work with Tom. Let us continue now. Just for one breath, grin to Gat Ah, relaxing. And now things get really interesting. We are going to descend into our pelvis. So, if we need our own personal Viagra, we're going to work with the syllable root day. If we are prone to depression or sorrow or lethargy, root day is our friend. If we are prone to rage or anxiety or insomnia, tip bay is our friend. Root day correlates to the female G-spot and to the male prostate. Tip bay corresponds to the female clitoris or the male penis, typically the most sensitive or pleasurable region therein. And the cool thing is, your brain already knows since puberty what those parts are, and by silently and mentally reciting it, your body will be able to find it. So if you're practicing this right now in the evening and you're at all prone to insomnia, I recommend you work with tip bay. So grin to tip bay, relaxing. We're going to do this for one breath. But wait, there's more. Now it's time for a pelvic resting. Let us advance the tip of our, I take that back. We're going to be counting upon the 3 sets of creases and tips of our right ring, and right middle, and right index fingers. Grin to tip bay, relaxing. You may feel all sorts of interesting sensations or may not. You may have spontaneous visualizations or you may not. Neither sensations nor visualizations make you a great saint. Persisting in a consistent practice with mindfulness and vulnerability and curiosity does. Grin to tip bay, relaxing. So some people practice these central chanting yogas for one circuit. Some do it for 7 circuits. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. Now we're climbing. We're not climbing with inner heat. We're climbing with central channel, which means we're climbing not with flame, but with syllables. We begin by advancing the tip of our left thumb upon our left little finger up to its tip, just like that. Grin to gut ah, relaxing, rapid fire. Grin to heart tum, relaxing. Grin to throat om, relaxing. Some people ask, where do you get the grin from? The 7 enlightenment factors. The 4th is joy, and the easiest way to access joy is with a subtle grin. Not a scary sideshow clown grin, but a subtle Mona Lisa grin. Grin to crown hum, relaxing. Now that we've arrived at the crown, we're going to rest at the crown for 12 breaths. Grin to crown hum, relaxing. Now we're going to practice spontaneous awareness meditation. This is the essence of the Buddhist path of meditation. Some call it Chan, some call it Zen, some call it Sati Passaddhi, some call it Sati Bhavana, some call it Mahamudra, some call it Mahasandhi, some call it Ati Yoga, some call it Mahasandhi, some people call it Dzogchen, some people call it Trekcho. Regardless of what you call it, it is as simple as watching the play of mind and relaxing into its release. During the in-breath, we're going to silently and mentally recite, notice this. During our out-breath, we're going to silently and mentally recite, relaxing. Notice this pronoun. It's deliciously vague. And it is what we call whatever we experience, whether our experience is external or internal, pleasurable or painful, glorious or grotesque, whether our experiences of a sensation, a flavor, a scent, a sight, a sound, an emotion, an intention, a thought, a recollection, or a fantasy. Whatever it is, we do not analyze it, and we are content to only use the label this. We've run out of little finger, or so it would seem. We continue extending our thumb up and over the little finger and allow it to rest upon the third knuckle of the little finger. Not the third crease, but the third knuckle. And yes, this is weird, but if you play with this twice a day, every day for 7 days, not so weird. And by 7 days, I mean 7 consecutive days. Notice this, relaxing. Let us count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right little finger. This technique is how tantrikas sublimate both ejaculation and orgasm into something much more sustainable. But we will go into that in greater detail in about 5 lessons. Notice this, relaxing, counting upon our right middle finger. We're going to conclude by practicing a concise union of love and letting go. We're going to coordinate our love practice with the 4 bases of mindfulness. The 4th base of mindfulness being one's phenomena or circumstance. We're going to continue sliding the tip of our left thumb down the back of our left little finger until we get to the second knuckle. Not the second set of creases, but the second knuckle. Like I said, twice a day, every day for 7 consecutive days, and you'll wonder what all the fuss was about. We are using instead of using the phrase, good fortune for each circumstance, which is far too many syllables, we're going to shrink circumstance down to lot, and good fortune down to boon, like Daniel Boone. Boon for each lot, relaxing. Let's count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right little finger. Let's turn our attention now to bodies, the first base of mindfulness. Health for each form. Form is just a monosyllabic synonym for body. Health for each form. Relaxing. On the in-breath, we are wishing others well, and that's love. On the out-breath, we're relaxing physically, and that helps us to let go mentally. Let us count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right ring finger. Health for each form, relaxing. Let us prepare to count upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right middle finger. We are now focusing on the interpersonal. This is the second base of mindfulness. In the Pali, it's known as Vedana, which translates as feelings. In the Sanskrit, it translates as speech or communication. They are both two sides of the same coin. For communication is how we work with our interpersonal relationships. So, love for all speech, meaning that we are wishing that all beings everywhere are able to sincerely and wisely communicate with love and consideration. Love for all speech, relaxing. Let us work now with the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right middle finger. Let us conclude tonight's practice by counting upon the 3 sets of creases and tip of our right index finger. Wise for each mind, relaxing. We're not talking about the cleverness to create a longer lasting light bulb, although that is Jim Tandy. We're talking about the wisdom of letting go. The wisdom that turns a schlub into a sage. Wise for each mind, relaxing. And you'll notice we haven't talked about persons, because a person is a vague thing, but we're talking about circumstances and bodies and relationships and minds. It's maybe a subtle difference, but one that'll help you upon the path of letting go. Wise for each mind, relaxing. All right. Now, if memory serves correct, yep, that is the end of tonight's, live stream. The practice text is available for immediate download. This video will be available for download or rewatching in about 15 to 30 minutes. If you play with these exercises, questions will occur. Share those questions with me either during tomorrow's class or during a comment on YouTube or a direct message on Instagram. And I'll do my best to answer it, either as a blog or in a live stream. Okay, my friends. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. I'm going to fiddle about on the computer and push a button or two. There we go. And now I can sign off and say, may you and yours be healthy and happy.